So welcome, Chris.
Welcome, welcome.
I appreciate you showing up on time and ahead of time, ready to rock and roll.
Thank you for helping keeping me on course too. Appreciate all the
Yes.
little reminders and follow-ups there.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
we're in. We're going. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
you
we're good.
appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm glad you appreciate. We are opening our sixth episode of Road Trip to Fairfax. So that's pretty awesome that we are.
What?
Yes, I
What?
know. I
Oh my
know.
God.
Like that's in addition to the probably 50 road trips that we already took without recording, the
Hmm.
real ones.
Yeah.
So we have a little background under us, but it's really fun to still continue and deepen and expand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just show up. It's so awesome. You're here. We're here.
You're all the reason I need. Just coming, hanging out,
Great.
and talking with you. It just the
That's
fact that we
great.
happen to be live and recording. That's just like circumstance. But other than
Right.
that,
Yeah, that's the frost
I'm just here
scheduling
to hang out
Webster.
and have
Yeah,
fun.
that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. And and I'm appreciative because I love hanging out, having fun, and exploring. I feel like we're fellow. Is that even the right word? Fellow explorers? Can I be
Hmm.
female with a fellow explorer? I think so.
Yeah,
What's
like
what's the
fellow
PC language?
pioneers.
That's it. Pioneer.
Ah.
Oh, so a couple of things happened this week that I would like to try to weave into today's talk during the time we have to get to the dance together. If we're still pretending we're doing that, which we
Oh
are.
yeah, yeah, we are.
We're on the road. Um, one is, I'll just note it, is I went to another silent disco that
Mm.
happened on Sunday. Oh, I have even a third one. And a friend visited me. So my Russian friend from Ecstatic Dance, who is not living in the area now, but comes to visit every once in a while, came this weekend and danced with me in my living room on Sunday together.
Mm.
We were on a Zoom dance. So we were hearing music broadcast into my room and seeing other people on our Zoom screen. And I was actually hosting that dance. That was the Santa Cruz Dance Church dance.
Ah,
I was
yeah.
on the roll to host. But as soon as I did my hosting bit, then we have like an hour and a half of Avatar was doing the music, streaming the music. I hardly paid attention to the screen at all because I had a live dance partner. And she was like, it was so interesting because we do contact together. Probably she's learned it mostly from me. I don't know that she's ever really formally, trained in contact, but I transmit it. And when I dance with people enough, they learn it, whether they've taken a class, because that's just me. But at any rate, we hadn't seen each other in months. And here she is. And we had a deep hug. That was the first thing. And I was like, oh, wait, how do I hug and stay present? My mind was jumping. It was just so interesting that even hugging was kind of like a new experience to really have somebody that could stay in an extended hug. And then once I finished my hosting and she started moving a little and I was moving near her, like in proximity. And at some point her arm was out and I put my hand out. I was waiting because I could kind of feel she was a little hesitant too. It was almost like, where do we start? It's been so long. There was this, um, and for me, especially wanting to honor whatever energy she was coming in with. I'm in my own home and it's a dance I'm familiar with and so forth.
Hmm.
And so I had my hand out kind of like this, just, sort of draping, sort of soft. And she came in close with her hand and I waited and waited and then we touched. And in that moment, it really did feel to me like this is a very first touch of two people who have never touched before. And we don't know where it's going or what, it was like there was a yes, but no assumption whatsoever. And my energy just kind of went whoop in, not excluding her, but like super alert. Like, okay, I am connecting to her,
Mm-hmm.
and my whole body is reading what her body is saying to mine in that connection. And I am listening with the most exquisite sort of readiness to receive whatever communication there is and play with it as she brings it forth. And I remember saying to her, that's almost like I forgot how to dance. It felt kind of like that, you know? And she was kind of the same. She goes, she didn't say anything and we danced a little and then we danced a little more. And then it was kind of like at some point she goes, it's kind of like riding a bike. You just don't forget. You get on the bike, it's a little wobbly at first, but within a few minutes, it's like right back to, oh yeah, I know how to do this. So it was fed me really deeply. We mostly danced back here behind the screen every once in a while, seeing who was in the Zoom.
Sure, yeah.
Bye, bye. We're over here dancing, as a couple. Um, so that was just really uh novel. I've only had one other person. I think it was her actually 4 or 5 months ago. She was here and we
Mm-hmm.
danced together.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say I felt a little bit guilty might be the word, because generally on a Zoom, especially if I'm a host, I'm sort of looking to see who wants to connect through the Zoom, and I'm available that way. Sort of like someone's doing this and I'll do this and they'll see me, and then we'll start to kind of figure out how to cross the virtual space and
Mm-hmm.
know that we're
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
seeing each other and that we're playing with each other, and and I really wasn't doing any of that.
Nice. You're having fun.
Drop that responsibility entirely.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Wow, what an experience.
So then, and then she cut my hair. She trimmed the back of my hair. So that was more.
This is
And
like a
then
whole dance experience I've never heard of before.
this
Wow.
was after the dance.
Yeah,
After the
yeah,
dance was
yeah,
over,
yeah, yeah.
and then we went down to Snow
Mm-hmm.
Park around Lake Merritt, and um, she drove. I usually take my bike. She drove when we got there, and there was a silent disco. And she had, I don't think, ever been to one, so she wasn't sure what to expect, or like I'd really only been to one, so I felt a little comfortable knowing what was coming. Um, and she was, as I would have been too, a little bit hyper because it's new and what is happening and so forth. She was kind of, I was watching her, but we found people to dance with and to dance contact with, and she and I danced a lot together. And she danced with, you know, uh, another gentleman, and I also danced with someone with contact, and people were a little looser. I will say that not everybody was masked, and people were doing, compared to the last time where people were like, I couldn't even get somebody to touch their fingertip to mine.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
was not even going to be an option. And this time, probably, who knows, even the people that last time were pretty rigid were already more relaxed in terms of the social distancing and the masking and the sort of defensive postures. So that was fun. And she loved it. She had a great time.
Oh my
She
God.
just was,
What a day.
yeah.
And the weather for it too.
Oh,
Oh my God. Yeah.
that was gorgeous. Sunny, clear, beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I miss Portland and all, but
Yeah,
man, is
but
it nice. Man, is it nice to be back here.
oh
Feels so good,
man,
and flip flops and tank tops and shorts and
I know. And it's
doors
February.
open.
Well, March now, but barely. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's it ain't no accident that people want to live in this area, in this climate, you know.
Yeah, Oakland's like one of the most temperate places on the earth. Just
Yep.
nice and even keel, 68 degrees.
Yep.
Sunny,
Yeah.
maybe a chance of rain.
Yeah.
Maybe
Chance of
not.
rain. little bit of breeze now and then, every once in a while a heat wave in the summer or smoke from the fires, but basically, really, 99% of the time, it's a delight here weather-wise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm happy to hear that people are warming up and
yeah.
it's spring is in the air. People want to get out.
Yeah.
They want to work. They want to connect. People are
Yeah.
dying to connect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
And people are starting to get vaccinated now and stuff. Whatever your politics on that are, people are, I think, feeling a little more, I've been vaccinated or I'm a little safer or there's something there that's kind of shifting the energy.
mhm.
There's kind of, yeah, people are a little more secure, I think.
It's kind of like slipping into the hot tub. You don't just jump right in the hot tub when it's like 108. Like you kind of like you kind of get used to it. Okay, this
Woo!
isn't so bad. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. This is okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would imagine something like this, like a
Yeah.
pandemic, and
Yeah.
getting out and being socially aware and distance, but yet connecting. That you got to think about those kinds of things. But
Yeah.
I think
That,
people are starting to figure it out.
yeah, they are. They are. And it's really sweet because it has been, I was thinking it has been a year. This is March. This is when it shut down last year.
Hmm.
Just about 1 week from now is when March, like it was like, and yeah, that's a long time to be dealing with such a different set of social conditions and rules, everybody. And trying to figure that out. And then coming up out of it again is another process, right? We've been
Hmm.
deep into this kind of uh, altered universe. And now who are we and how do we? Uh, yeah, that's what I was seeing. I was happy. I was really happy she wanted to come visit. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I could just tell from the moment you touch, it just like the air just got super
Oh,
thin, super
yeah.
quiet. I was like, yes, that. And I mean, yes, for you, how you
Yes.
feel about that. Like,
Yes.
oh,
Oh,
that's right.
ah, home.
I
Yes.
remember that. Yes, home.
Yes.
This is
Home.
familiar.
There's no
Touches.
place like home.
I
No
know, right?
place like
Click, click,
home.
click, click,
There's no
click.
place
Yeah.
like home. Yeah.
Click those heels. Little
Yeah.
heels like that.
Touch, and for me, this is what the gesture for those of you who are on the just listening. I'm taking a fingertip to a fingertip, somebody else's mind, boom, you know, it's like the Velcro. There's no place like
Hmm.
home. That's my home. In my favorite language, in my well danced language. And yeah, and it has really, it is again a way of bringing me really embodied. It just can't be floating around in my head. I'm a body worker as well, and I can't put my hands on somebody and be floating. I'm like it's the Vulcan mind meld, you know. It's it's the empath in me. Um, and I will just say, kind of in this just momentarily now, not a new recognition, but I just have this busy, 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 busy mind. It is running, 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 running here, there, everywhere, la la la. And it affects me emotionally, like all of a sudden, yes, then no. I was diagnosed as bipolar. So I can just jump and go. And, I see that you didn't know that, but that
No,
was,
no, no. I
oh,
did, but it
okay.
still perplexes me because I just don't see you as. I mean, I don't see you as
Because I've
bipolar. Yeah.
because I've worked so hard, maybe, and who knows when they diagnose, what are they diagnosing? But my mother was also diagnosed, and so it's not like it just came out of nowhere or someone said that. But I think the way it shows up for me are these, it's learning to regulate and try to find the middle grounds. It's easy for me to go way over here or way down there, and sort of be there so fast. I don't, I didn't take the steps in between. And so, and it's in the steps in between that I can kind of go, is this where the direction I want to go? Is it really the direction I want to go? Rather than, whoo, I'm here, it's
Hmm.
uncomfortable, or whoo, I'm here, it feels great. And I think that for me, learning to anchor my awareness, part of my witness of myself into what's happening physiologically in my body. Am I breathing? You know, did things just tighten up, right? For me, in the low belly is where I will just cramp right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yep.
you know, and then I'm like, and then my body's hunched over because it's hard, it's tight in there, and I'm not
Ugh.
breathing, and yeah, yes, making you
Yeah,
uncomfortable. You
yeah.
go there so fast. It's like, and I may not catch the thought because I really think it's mostly thought directed that took me into this place of panic or fear or I'm not okay. But I can feel the sensations. I'm better at, going, I'm not breathing, or I'm uncomfortable and my belly is tight, or my shoulders just went to my ears, you know? And then letting that be like a signal. Oh, something's going on. Pause and see if I can get a little spacious and take a bigger breath and feel into things and notice what's my mind doing? You know, where is it? Where am I pointing myself? What am I thinking? I've been contemplating moving up to Ashland, Oregon. You and I know that because we've talked a little about it.
Yeah.
And what I noticed this morning, I was excited, and then the sort of reality of there's a time pressure, there seems to be a deadline, there seems to be all these hoops to jump through. And for days now, several days, I've just felt like, I don't know, I would do a silent scream in some kind of way. Like now rather than, oh, I might move to Ashland, and all this open kind of excitement, instead it's been like, oh, now you know, Ashland, it's on my to-do list now. It's become
Yeah.
deadline, got to get up there by a certain time, got to get everything in order first before I do, and and my whole system was tight. My friend says to me, was it last night even, maybe the night before, you don't have to move there. And she's right. I'm not living on the street. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to go chase this thing. And yet it's so when she said that, I took a deep breath. I was like, oh yeah, right. This is about choosing. This is not about I'm not on a forced march, where if I don't keep marching, they're gonna shoot me. It's not
Mm-hmm.
what's happening.
Right.
Um, but it feels like that in my nervous system when I make that flip from, okay, how can this be fun? This is fun and interesting, to, all right, now, you know, if you don't do it, then you're going to hate yourself. Bad things are going to happen. You're not going to get the space. It's going to cost more. You're going to miss out. All these kinds of layers,
Yeah.
layers of FOMO and of time does this to me, you know? Oh no, I only have a half an hour to be ready. And I get this immediate time anxiety, even if a half hour is basically plenty of time. Does this happen to you?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, like before this call, how we kind of do a little tech setup ahead of time, where it was like me bustling around and it's like, you're just like, no, Chris, I understand. You're just coming home you're just coming off your workday. I'm like, well, actually the workday kind of wrapped up a little while ago. It's because I got like this huge dinner mess of this like delicious louse meal that I had. And I just got to clean it up because I got to use the same space for the laptop. But it's like the little procedural things like that where it's like, no, you've got enough time, and okay, maybe you get a little chicken in between your teeth, but you're gonna be fine.
I
Nothing's
know.
gonna happen to you. You're gonna
Right.
be just like my kitty, it's like
Yeah.
everything's gonna be just fine. You're gonna be loved.
Yeah.
You're gonna make the right
Yeah.
decisions.
And really, it's what I'm hearing, what I think I'm hearing is this is almost like your inner talk, like, because there's a part of you just about ready to freak out and jump off a cliff, or just contract into a little ball. And it's really, no, I'm okay. There is time. Slow down heart, breath expand, belly relax, let shoulders go, trust that we are not only doing our best to take care of ourselves, because we actually do plan. We know this
Hmm.
time is coming. We set out, I'm going to need so much time. We set it all up and then still freak out. It's like, you know,
Maybe.
my system does. And I
Yeah.
think it's actually partly a habit for sure. This, what I've named anticipation anxiety. It's almost this kind of, dream it, it's really big, and then as I actually start to step in to do it, part of me just goes into panic, like, I'm not going to manage it somehow. There's part of me that is becomes, um it abandons me. The part of me that's going, "You got this, it's good, we're doing it," is gone. It takes a fucking hike.
Well, screw that guy. Can't trust him for
"Come
anything.
back, I need you. Don't
Yeah.
abandon me when I need you." I'm learning. To put that one on a leash so it can only go so far and I can like
Hmm.
pull it back in and go, wait a minute, I need you and you're a really important part of me. And put your hand on my shoulders and massage my neck and my back a little bit and sit me down and tell me I'm okay and that I got this and not just here in my head, but actually the body. I just named it, the hands on my body. My friend did that at the dance as I was sitting hosting and tech stuff was going on yesterday for the dance and the hosting and we had 15 minutes to fill with like no one talking and well, here we are. Should we go early or not? She just came up and put her hands on my shoulders and just sort of, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm being held in some kind of way.
Sometimes
And
that's all you need.
mm, I think that's why I love the contact improv and the partner. Serious. To bring it back to the dance subject, it's like as soon as I'm a yes with that kind of mindful connecting touch, all my worries go away. All that just disappears, and my whole self just goes, yeah. Like you said, getting into the hot water. It's like I might go in slow, but once I'm in, I'm like, ah,
Oh, that feels good.
yes,
Get those bubbles.
yes to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I caught myself um revving up to this kind of shortage thinking because it is, they have put it out like this is a park, it's a mobile home park that burned down in September. And so now it's being repopulated and some of the people are coming back and some aren't. But the landlord put out this message, this is the deadline date. And after that date, you better jump in fast. Kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, and others have
Yeah.
had like months. It was their place that burned. They've been thinking about it. And for me, it's been 10 days.
Yeah.
They're like, what size, what lot do you want? What size house do you want? What are all these decisions? I'm like, I don't know. I just tuned in 10 days ago and there's lots of decisions. Please don't step on my chest like that, you know?
Yeah. 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 I get it.
Yeah. And, I see it in our culture being wielded, in some, I guess in some ways it's needed, but especially in sales, sign up now because in a week it's going to cost you twice as much. It's like this whole kind of pushing. Be pushy, Chris. I don't want
Just
to be
push,
pushed.
sell,
I don't want to
sell,
be
buy. Now
pushy.
I know all about that. Time value of money. Oh yeah.
Ah, yeah, you're in
Well,
the corporate world, aren't you?
in a couple different hats, a couple different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But just jumping back to your point real quick, do you mind if I throw a
No,
little way
please.
in? Okay, yeah,
I'm
no.
waiting for you to talk. It's your turn.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, I wasn't sure when it was my turn to jump in. So I was
Typically
like,
hand
oh,
it to
it's
you. I
sound.
pause.
I know,
You say
right?
nothing, and I
Right. I
take
got to
it.
get better at that because I don't know if I'm interrupting a thought or not. So I was just
Well,
like, all
let me.
right. I'm
I
like,
just have to get better at actually inviting you. I think that will help you. Like, here, do you have something?
yeah.
Please
Because
contribute.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah,
See?
sometimes you pause with a really good point, and I like to wait for what's coming next because it's
Yeah.
usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think. Oh, for something me? You mean my next
Yeah,
thing?
something
All
you
right.
say,
Right.
whatever it is that's coming out. Yeah, I mean, and,
Yeah.
and I mean, and just generally speaking, that's one of the things that I love about you. Is just like you're so easy to talk to. It's like nothing's like misunderstood or misinterpreted that can't be like figured out within 2 or 3 words in a second. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, moving on. Not so much like what'd you say? What do you mean? What'd you think? What were you insinuating? Da, 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 da. And it's so easy, it's just so comforting to have a conversation like that where you just like two people talking and engaging and being very receptive of one another and saying, okay, yeah, we're both here to have this like mutual loving open communication that's very trusting. And if something gets misunderstood, then we just kind of correct it
Yeah.
and put it right back on course.
Fix it right there and move on. Right. You noted.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
So
that's
that was,
really. Yeah.
yeah, that
Go
was from
ahead.
much earlier. I'm sorry, but anyway, all I was going to say is that everything that you're feeling, like all your angst and all your worry and trepidations about this, this potential relocation up to Ashland, first of all, are very legit and very serious. But also too, I I don't see anything like, I mean, I'm going to try not to put this in the wrong way, but I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Like I think these are all very normal things, and the reason you're feeling the way that you're feeling is because you're taking it seriously. And even though it's been kind of like a couple questions here and there popped within a period of 10 days, this is something you've been like thinking and planning and like projecting for a while. So
Yeah.
does it necessarily have to be this opportunity? No. But what it does sound like is that if you're going to go for this opportunity, that window of opportunity seems to be like now.
Yeah.
So while they're
Yeah.
trying to get everything all figured out, that's your time to slip
Yeah.
in. And that's when
Yeah.
all those questions start pelting out. And you got to be ready to fire back. But that's also a good time to lean on your friends. So
And I have. Thank you. It is amazing what I'm actually experiencing, and somehow it feels novel. Maybe it is because I am leaning more and more on friends. It's really been amazing how, like, actually, this is a huge shift for me, Chris. I'll give it a tiny backstory that I may have already said this here, but I was raised to not need. Needing was shameful. And so to ask for help was shameful. And so
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
own bootstraps, do your own thing. And there I have shifted because even I had a question, an example last night. I'm trying to figure out which place in the lot. There's only a few, but they're all a little different. I just got
Mm-hmm.
that network unstable flag. So I'm going to slow down and just keep looking to see if you can hear me.
Yeah. No,
Okay. Yeah, my computer just told me my network's unstable, my
mm-hmm.
internet work. So
You should
I'm
see my
paying
life.
extra attention because we had those things last week. And I thought, well, it's hard to tell on just a map, but this one lot actually looks over where the creek is going to be. And there's about 4 or 5, and I've been told they're small. And I was going to try to just tough it out and make this decision. And then by talking, found out that I had contact already with someone who lived right there in that lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's moving out of the park for other reasons, and I just thought, well, why don't I just ask her? How is the noise there? Because it's and how is the view there and how and
Smart.
she just in a sentence told me and I was like, wow, now I have that information. And that really helps me, you know? So that's the lot I've picked at this point because it's up and it has a view and the creek still has some plants because I know everything got burned out, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, just when I was really being told I needed to make a choice and I had 3 or 4 options in front of me, it was like that part of me that abandons me sometimes was with me and said, "Hey, come on, you know, use your resources, reach out to people."
Listen to that gut.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So how you feeling about it now?
I'm feeling good. After this morning, I sent the check off for the check off. I had to mail a check,
I got you.
for uh to have them do like the credit check stuff that they do to see if
Hmm.
I'm qualify financially and other ways. And I really was going to mail that Monday morning, but today when I thought, oh, I can also pick the lot because that so I could put it in the note, mail it off, and I felt like, yes. No, my mind's still going, are you sure? But I was like, no. And the reasons why I want that were coming more than the reasons why I should doubt it at this point.
Hmm.
So, I'm taking it step by step. There's no guarantee that I qualify. There's no guarantee I'll get that spot. There's no guarantee, I'll find the house I want. But oh, I did one other thing. And this was self-sufficient. My headset slipping. Um, just for anybody, this is about whether to buy a double wide or a single wide. I have to buy a house and move it onto the lot. Something I haven't done before. A manufactured home. And I had a friend also just tell me when I was talking about it, get a single wide because it's extra expense and hassle and so forth to even when they deliver the two pieces for them to put it together, it takes all this extra energy and money and people and then she said they make the double wide or the single wides, I think she said 15 or 17 feet wide. So I was thinking, well, is that wide enough? And today I pulled out a tape measure where I live and
Hmm.
went, how wide is this? I'm comfortable with this. I was like, oh, that's like 17 feet. Oh, I can live with that. All right. Here's the lot. Here's this, that's a single wide lot and it has
Sweet.
the view. Yeah. So it's almost like as I need the information, it does arrive. If I stay connected to myself and the moment, then,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
I'm trying to put my foot on the next rock, and as my foot is hovering, comes up the rock underneath, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Faith over fear. Turn fear into faith. Take
Totally.
that step.
Totally.
Take that step out there. Believe in yourself. That's all you got to do is believe in yourself. Everything else will just kind of start to naturally fold into place, and you'll see all along that
Yeah.
you got this.
It was there
Yeah.
all along. Yeah. It just
Yeah.
exactly. It's ready to arrive if I will believe it's going to arrive, you know.
But you're
And
being smart about it though too. You're definitely approaching it cautiously, making sure you do your homework, bouncing it off of other people, talking about it in the podcast. You're I mean, and I think that's a very important part too, is just having these comfortable open conversations with other people that will offer up particular perspectives that perhaps you didn't consider.
right. I may
Yeah.
not even have known to ask, except I say, oh, something, and they go, oh, I have experience with that. Here. And I'm like, whoa, thank you. Because I wouldn't even known to ask, nor would I have known to dig to find the answer. Right. And it just poof.
And hopefully
Yeah.
that kind of like keeps the momentum going, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of builds you up, gets you a little pumped,
Yeah.
like, yeah, all
Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I got you, all
Okay.
right, yeah.
Okay. And each time that happens, there's just this other layer of me that goes, yeah, you can trust this. See it sort of reinforces that this method of moving forward in life, let's
Hmm.
call it, um, works. I guess plays works. It's uh, what's a word for that, Chris? What is it? What am I trying to say?
What are you trying to say? This is
It
$25,000
well,
pyramid.
it's sort of like life unfolds in this way. In other words, if okay, so the choice
Like
might be
serendipitous or
no, 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 no. And
yeah.
I was so busy, I didn't even hear your comment. I was just not listening after I asked you. So ask it again. That might help me find it. Ah, yeah. Well, let me speak a little, and maybe in the pauses you can interject. And yes, there's something about the one way to approach life is to worry, worry, worry. I talked about this in the last podcast. That was the
Yeah.
banging on the side of the car. Well, it keeps the elephants away. Well, there are no elephants. It's almost like, it's a superstition that if I keep banging
Mhm.
on the side of my car, no elephants will run across my, well, So it's like, is worrying useful? Basically. Concern, maybe investigation, but worry and doubt, is it useful? As opposed to this other kind of way to go is to say, well, let me take a step and then take a look around and then see what I need and then take another step and stay lined up with where I want to go, but open to the information that happens as I'm heading that way
Mhm.
and feeling worthy enough to be supported in that journey, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
yeah, it's big stuff. It's big
Uh,
stuff for me. Yeah. It sounds like you're
something you've never
familiar.
done before.
Not so consciously, no. I just kind of like whoosh off somewhere, you know. Actually, that's how I got to the Bay Area. Um, when I realized that I miss dancing. And
Hmm.
I had been in Montana. I hadn't even found dancing, but I just somehow was realizing I dance is my medicine. There's more of it in the Bay Area than out in the middle of Montana, which is where I
Hmm.
was at
Hmm.
that point after 12 years in Montana. Story how I got there, but just wasn't sure why or what. But and that was direction. It was like, up here's an arrow pointing towards dance. Here's where people are teaching it. Here's where people are doing it. Go there. Be there. And then I started going, okay, how can I do that? Do 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 do. Boom, 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 boom. And not everything worked. I mean, I thought I wanted to live with people, and I ended up living alone because I couldn't find the right situation. Either
Hmm.
I loved the house, but they didn't love me, or I loved them, but I didn't love the house. That was a shared situation.
Yeah.
It's hard. That was, well, I don't know, hard, but I actually really enjoyed living alone then too. Right? It was really good for me.
Probably pretty nice. Yeah.
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 And I still am. I'm contemplating getting a place that has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. And for a couple reasons, maybe you have something to say about this, but if I'm going to buy real estate and have mortgage payments and be paying like that, it seems like it could make sense to have another person paying in to help pay for that cost. And this is something one of my friends who's only a couple years older than me, I don't think of myself as in any way losing my capacity to function, although
Hmm.
it probably will come when it comes. Uh, but if and when it comes, if I'm still in this house, then I can have a caregiver live with me. And so um, I can have a companion caregiver, and there's a room and a bathroom for them to have their own space. And I won't probably have to move into some kind of assisted care if that ever becomes the thing. Kill me first, by the way, Chris.
Yeah. 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 No
I don't
problem.
want
Yeah.
any
I
of all
was
that.
I was
Yeah.
already plotting it up here. Yeah. That's why the connection got unstable. They're like, oh, bad thoughts.
I could give you the
Yeah.
specific directions I've given to friends. Now you're not a contact dancer, but that's okay because I think you know how to do this anyway. I'm going to die on the dance floor probably, or with a friend around, I hope, or I'm going to be near death at that moment. And my vision of how I go out is I'm laying on my back on the floor and someone just lays on top of me. And I don't care if their weight makes me have my last breath. That's how I want to go, with somebody just
Wow.
laying on top of me in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy. Pun
Yeah.
intended, but really,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. That's quite the vision.
Yeah. That's how it's going to come down for me. So if you're the one and I'm
Hmm.
going out, just lay on top of me. Do not worry
I'll
about
beeline it.
taking
Yeah.
me out. It's my, that's my, what is it? My request, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your last request.
Yeah.
I'll catch a
My
little
last
air.
request.
Uh,
It's like getting in that hot tub, only it's somebody's body. Ooh, ah.
uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, my let's see. We've only got through. I'm keeping an eye on the time. We're almost to Fairfax. Look
Yeah,
at the
we're
time.
almost there. We can sort of figure out how to wind up this. I can put a teaser for next time,
Hmm.
perhaps, unless you have one.
Sure.
I have really filled the airspace today. Thank you for that. And um, yeah, it's what I broached with you right before we, in our casual before coming on the session.
Hmm.
But it's this idea that if someone wants to be comfortable in a freestyle environment, which has very little um, structure or depth, or it has kind of a um, I forgot the word I came up with earlier, but it has kind of a culture to it. Let's call it that. But the first time you walk in, there's no way to really know. It's just sort of like the same way you go into the clubs. You learn the culture by being
Hmm.
there and watching what's going on. No one says, "Okay, sign, read all this and sign. Now you can, now you know how to be in the space." And so it occurred to me when, after listening to you last week about, oh, yeah, I dance in groups of people, and that's how I dance with people. I bring people to the dance. So I have my people around me in a club, let's say. That's what you were describing. Your
Hmm.
friends
Yeah,
come,
yeah,
so you're
yeah.
with your friends, and, you can still split off and come back. And uh, by the same token, so you also mentioned that perhaps one reason that you don't just blithely go off and try to connect with someone one on one on the dance floor, in a more intimate kind of dance, is that you've never taken lessons or learned how to do that, or what people, what to expect, or so forth. And it makes obvious sense to me that in a social dance, like what we have ballroom, and you have um, uh, tango and
Hmm.
salsa and these different kind of partner dances where you're really in somebody's field by consent, maybe with touch, maybe not, but it's a more structured kind of way to interact with someone, that people go and learn how to do that so that they can go up to a stranger and invite them into that, and have sort of some confidence there, and some experience, and so forth. And so, yeah, why wouldn't that be the same for contact improvisation, or any kind of
Hmm.
touch that's a partner form? And I had sort of I think we can explore, what does it take to be able to get to the place where, I mean, I just, it's like I live in it, so I kind of assume people are going to be able to, right, they're going to be
Yeah,
able to
right.
walk right into it with
Right.
me, right? Wait, no, that's not right. I learned it too, right? And so maybe we can talk about that a little bit next week, unless something is more juicy or pressing or fascinating for us.
Well, maybe I'll just kind of like pepper a little bit at the end here, since we are wrapping up.
Please.
After last week's discussion and all that, background as far as me not engaging as much with the contact dance, you know what I did for the first time on virtual dance? I know, shut the front door. I did.
Oh,
Got
oh,
somebody to
oh,
dance.
oh, oh, oh.
And it was pretty amazing.
Oh man, so this was
Yeah.
virtual, right? You did
Virtual. Yeah, yeah,
virtual,
yeah. Virtual,
but still,
virtual.
that's still, you have, oh, oh,
It's the
wow.
willingness of the mind,
Yes.
after all that big fluff and talk, that I gave,
Yep.
last week, and I don't know how
Now,
much of
why
it cut
not?
out or not, yeah,
Yeah.
went out or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I like to lead by action, and it's like, you know what? I said that I would consider it. So why not I take the first step and do that?
There you go. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's perfect. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a
Yeah.
wrap, Chris.
Yeah. We're
Right
here.
on.
We're
Let's high
here.
five. Let's high five.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh.
All right. So I just want to thank you. I want to say to our viewers and listeners, same time, same space, only 2 hours later. Next week we'll be at 7 instead of 5. Although the lighting is better here at 5, but I want to respect whatever. Right
Well,
now,
it's yeah. Well, yeah.
don't get lost in that, Harmony. That's a whole other loop. And so many loops to loop. And yeah, we are very much appreciative of your attention. I'm appreciative of your attention, Chris, and your
Yeah.
listening and your sharing and your big smile and your kitty
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah.
And we're appreciative of anyone who and everyone who finds entertainment, information, anything that they value by us coming together and just having our party on the way to Fairfax.
Yeah. At the risk
Right?
of sounding cliche, thanks for listening.
Yeah. You know, closing line, folks. That's why we pay you the big bucks.
Ah,
All right.
or just a
So
pretty smile.
hasta la
All right,
vista.
baby.
Wait, wait. Oh, yeah. The
Oh
heart.
wait,
Here we go.
whoa,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Oh
forgot.
yeah.
Here we do.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole. Look up, kitty.
Wop,
There
wop,
we
wop, 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 wop. Oh, with the kitty, even
go. With
better.
the kitty.
Yeah. See?